Yo, what's up, Sixer Nation? DFJ Hoops here, back again with another show. Happy New Year to each and one of y'all. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Salute to my guy BJ in the building. Salute you late again. Happy New Year, bro. The Sixers starting off the year right. Yeah, I was 5 minutes late, but yeah, it's all good though. It's all good. But yeah, happy new year, bro. Happy new year. Hopefully everything that you put your mind to this year, hopefully everything goes well. But you got to be consistent and you got to be dedicated to it. So um but yeah, happy new year. Happy new year. So the 76ers took on the Dallas Mavericks 12 days ago at home, and the Sixers beat the Mavs. And they took them again. Yeah, my bad, Joe. My bad. But yeah, they played the Mavs again last night, and the result was the same. The 76ers were able to pull off the victory. The Sixers had almost every player out there healthy, with the exception of Kelly Oubre and Trendon Watford. Now, Kelly did he spoke to the media, and he said he's nearing a return. Kelly's been out for a minute, right? Kelly been out for a minute, but hopefully he can get back on the court, and then hopefully we can see where the Sixers go from here. And then Trendon Watford also dealing with a hamstring injury. He was also out, right? So hopefully the Sixers can get both those players back, and we can see where the Sixers go from there. But that was the second victory that the Sixers victory had. I think the first one was against the Memphis Grizzlies, an overtime winner. Before the year ended, and VJ Edgecombe helped the Sixers win that with that dagger three, which helped seal the game, and a very good performance against the Dallas Mavericks against last night. So we gotta get into it. So the Sixers on the road now. Maxi playing. I mean, Maxi has potentially two homes, right? Because playing for the Sixers, that's home, and then playing in Dallas, that's also home because he's from the Dallas area, right? Um, but I think Maxi had a great performance. He had 38 in the first matchup against them, and then last night he had 34. So Maxi has been having good games against the Dallas Mavericks, his hometown team, rightfully so. Maxi has been making a very good case to be an All Star starter this season, and the first returns of the vote, Maxi was second in the Eastern Conference. I think Giannis was first, and then Maxi was second. So Maxi has been doing a good job with his play, his production, his impact, his value overall to the team is just second to none, right? But the Sixers started off this game a little bit slow. I mean, Embiid got to his spots like he usually does, and he was able to make some mid-range shots. Now, Embiid has been looking good, right? Let's give it up. Let's give it up for Embiid. Embiid has been looking good. I think he's starting to get more healthier. He's given more effort defensively. Um, I think, when he had those defensive possessions against Anthony Davis and Daniel Gafford, he was playing very, very solid defense. Now, Anthony Davis, you have to guard him differently. And then Daniel Daniel Gafford, you gotta guard him differently too. Because I mean, AD might get it on the block, he might, face you up, he might jab, pump fake, take a dribble or two or shoot the midi. But Daniel Gafford, you gotta play it differently because he's super athletic. He gets to the rim and barely shoots any jumpers. Right now, he did attempt a turnaround fadeaway shot, and I was like, bro, what's this bullshit? But I mean, he got Embiid a couple times, with those dunks. I mean, Embiid, still getting back to his usual self, but the explosiveness is not there. Even though he had a possession offensively where he took Anthony Davis off the dribble and he was able to finish at the basket. But for him to consistently do that, I don't see that happening. But I'm glad that he's getting healthier. He's getting more confidence in the knees, and he's able to do more things than just stand at the 3 point line and just jack up threes, right? But Embiid he's doing very, very well. He had a solid game last night. He finished with 20 plus points. He got to the line like he usually does, and yeah, the Sixers are able to pull up the victory. But Embiid with the pull up midi, it starts the Sixers off right. and then next possession, Embiid and Maxey 2-man game. Now the 2-man game has not been effective this season as it has been in the previous seasons, but I think in these last few games, like the 2-man game has been very, very effective, right? These last two games, but overall for the season, not so much. But these last two games, it's been very, very effective. And with Maxey able to play the give and go with Embiid's ability to screen. I mean, Embiid is a big body, so when he screens you, it's very, very difficult to get over those screens. And then Maxey's also very, very quick. Like when he catches it, he can set his feet and then go into his jumper. So that really helps him too, right? Helps the team, it helps both players. And the Sixers are able to the 2-man game, if it gets very, very effective, it's going to be very, very difficult to stop, right? As it was in the previous seasons. But I think it'll take time, right? It'll take time for both those players to get to that level. But I mean, Maxey's still playing good with or without Embiid, but Embiid can make it more easier for Maxey with his ability to screen and his ability to draw double teams. Now, Joel Embiid drew a lot of double teams in this game, right? He drew a lot of double teams when he caught it on the block. I mean, people talk about him not wanting to post up, but every time he gets it on the block, like they're sending double teams, right? Even with Anthony Davis, who's a very, very good defender on them, they put two on the ball. You'll see Cooper Flag come in, forcing them to give it up. You'll see PJ Washington come in to force him to give it up. So Embiid's ability to draw double teams can definitely help the Sixers a great deal, right? But another player that I want to get to is Dominic Barlow. Now Barlow has been playing very, very well for the Sixers from a role player standpoint. With his ability to grab rebounds, his ability to play defense. I mean, he's not really a great or a good defender. I think he definitely gives effort, right? He definitely shows effort, and tries to use his length because I mean he's about 6'7", 6'8", with a very, very large wingspan, so he's able to bother players with his physical attributes. But as far as him being a very, very good defender, I don't see it. But in this game, in the first quarter, he got into foul trouble. He picked up two fouls very, very quickly. And then Nick Nurse had no other choice but to bench him and bring in somebody else. So his value wasn't really seen in this game. But I mean, in the first matchup, I mean, we saw how valuable he was with his ability to run the floor, get offensive rebounds. His everything he does really helps the Sixers. Right, the second chance points helps the Sixers. The rebounding helps the Sixers. And I mean, the only thing that he has to work on, I mean, I've said this in the past, I'll say it again, um, is his outside shooting. Because teams usually deploy a soft coverage on him in the corners. When he's shooting those corner threes, like they don't try to run him off the floor because he can't beat you with his shooting. But if he can work on that, he'll definitely be a valuable piece to any team that he plays for. Now I can see the Sixers, bringing him back for next season. I think as of right now, he's on a standard contract, but moving forward, the Sixers will definitely need his services because for number one, he's very, very young, right? He's about 21 or 22, maybe 23, right? So he's very, very young, very, very. I mean, not super athletic, but he's somewhat athletic in his own right. And the things that he does on the floor, the intangibles, diving on the floor for those loose balls, getting those offensive rebounds, that can really help the team a great deal. So that's it. That's the only thing that I have to say. But he got into foul trouble, so we didn't really see him that much, especially in the first half. He didn't play at all in the second quarter, I don't think. I think in the second, Paul George played the entire. I mean, he didn't play the entire second quarter, but he played for the most part. He played most at the power forward position, right? He played at the power forward position, and the Sixers went. Um, the Sixers played their small ball lineup, so that's what it was. But from a scoring standpoint, I think the Sixers were they were scoring, right? They were generating offense. I mean, Maxey, being very, very quick and sneaky, he found his way to the cup every single time. He was making plays. But one thing that was hurting the Sixers was that they were not getting back in transition. They were not getting back defensively. And that's how the Mavericks were scoring most of their buckets, right? The Mavericks started off 9 for 10 from the field. And most of those points were, scoring on the Sixers in transition, right? You'll see Andrew Nemhard's brother. I forgot his name, but Nemhard. You'll see him get sneaky and make plays and transition, and then PJ Washington is making a bucket, and then Anthony Davis is scoring, and then Cooper Flag is also scoring, and then the Sixers were also turning the ball over, and a huge culprit for that was PG-13. Now Paul George has been playing good. I don't want to use this opportunity to bash him. I think he's been playing good, even though he's not dropping like 20 plus points every single night. But you can feel his value to the team. You can his impact on the team is just something different. He does he's not doing just one thing. He's doing multiple things when he's out there on the floor. He's scoring, he's playing defense, he's grabbing rebounds, and he's also playmaking. Right. So he's not doing just one thing. But I mean, sometimes when you're playmaking, you tend to, turn the ball over, right? Sometimes you might be trying to get to a spot and then, you end up turning the ball over, right? So I mean, some of those turnovers were not his fault. It was just him trying to make a play, but those turnovers also helped the Dallas Mavericks to get in the races and try to convert on the other side of the floor, right? But nonetheless, I mean, the Sixers were still generating offense, still scoring. And I think early on in the first half, it was only three players who were scoring for the Sixers, and that was VJ, Maxey, and Joel Embiid. I think Joel Embiid started 3 for 3 from the field. I mean, he got to his spots, jab step, pump fake, and got to the basket a couple times, and then sometimes he shot the midi. But late in the first, that's when Paul George, he had his moments in terms of the scoring. Had a play where Joel Embiid, gave it to him, and then he ended up banking it off the glass, and then it was good. And then had another play similar to the first one, which Embiid again making a play for Paul George, and then Paul George getting to the basket and then banking it off the glass. But just like I said, I mean, Dallas scoring in transition really helped them. And Dallas started off this game going 13 for 17 in the paint, right? So if teams are scoring like that in the paint, then you should know that you're not doing something. Either your transition defense is not good, or your defense in the half court, guys are just finding their ways into the paint and they're converting that way, right? So the Sixers made some changes. They made some adjustments. Heading into the second quarter. I think Dallas put up like 35, and the Sixers put up like 27. Right? I could be wrong. Somebody can fact check me, but and smash the like button as y'all come in. Smash that like button. But the Sixers headed into the second, and like I said, Embiid looking very very good, moving very very well. Um, Moving well on both sides of the floor, offensively, defensively. Now, sometimes Embiid tries to do a little bit too much, which I don't really like necessarily. Me personally, I would rather you keep everything simple, right? Keep everything simple. When you get the ball off the rebound, just give it up to somebody and try to go establish position in the post or somewhere. Try to get ready to set a screen, establish position, or catch the ball on the way to the basket. But sometimes he just wants to get it off the rebound and push it, which sometimes he ends up carrying the ball. Now they don't really call it because I don't know. In today's era, they don't really call carries a lot. Like Giannis carries the shit out the ball, and BB carrying the shit out the ball. Even Maxi sometimes be carrying the shit out the ball, right? But hey, as long as they don't call it, I guess it don't count. So, but sometimes he tries to do too much and ends up turning the ball over, right? Or ends up shooting a terrible terrible three, and that sometimes those shots, those plays end up being, I mean, they're not turnovers, but they can be turnovers because when Mavs get it, they're trying to play fast and score in transition, right? So I think that's the only flaw or the only thing that I don't like when it comes to Joel Embiid so far this season. But I think as far as everything else, I mean, three straight games, 30 plus points, that's very very good, right? That's very very good because he's getting back to his usual self, and he's being a little bit more valuable as of right now than he was when the season started. Right? But yeah, starting off the second, I mean, Embiid making plays. Um, yeah, Embiid making plays for everybody else, for himself as well. And then there was this play where Tyrese Caleb Martin checked in for the Mavs. Caleb Martin is playing for the Mavericks, as he got traded for Quentin Grimes last season at the trade deadline. But he checked in, and Maxey had this play where I think Caleb Martin didn't realize how fast Maxey was, right? And then he tried to backpedal, and then ends up getting dropped, right? And then Maxey was able to finish at the basket. I think that play was funny. I don't think Maxey dropped him. I think he just didn't realize how fast Maxey was. So him trying to get back on defense as fast as he could, that's what ended up getting him dropped. I don't think Maxey dropped him. But I mean, everybody can interpret it different. But that's what I think it was. But the Sixers ended up going on a 10-0 run to start off the second quarter. And in the process of that, they ended up taking the lead. Now, the Sixers have been a very, very good second quarter team and a very, very good fourth quarter team. Now, the third quarter, they don't really put up a ton of points. But me personally, I don't think it's that big of a deal, even though some people think it is. Me personally, I'd rather, I go off in the fourth, and then eventually, if the game turns out to be closer in the clutch, I can eventually, make some plays down the stretch and ultimately win the game. I mean, but that's just me. That's just how I see it. But, some people expect the Sixers to win the first. I mean, score a ton of points in the first, win the second, win the third, win the fourth, and it's just not going to happen, right? It's just not going to happen because the game of basketball is a game of runs, and a quarter might be yours, a quarter might not be yours, right? Maybe the other team might make plays, and they might get hot from the start, and then they might, get into a rhythm, and the next thing you know, everything, falls for them, and then you might be struggling on the other side, right? That's just basketball. That's how basketball is. That's how basketball has been since the 50s, and it's going to continue to be that way. But the Sixers had a very, very great second quarter where everybody felt like contributed, right? Embiid contributed, Maxey contributed, VJ Edgecombe, who I didn't really talk about in the first. He had his moments in the second as well, but he was going off in the first quarter too. He made a couple of threes. He had a couple of slashes to the basket, finished strong, right, with the offhand, sometimes with the strong hand as well. And he was playing some good defense, right? VJ's always playing good defense. I don't question his defense because I know it's always going to be there, right? The effort is going to be there, but sometimes I'm only concerned with the outside shooting, right? Because sometimes he can go a little bit streaky from the 3-point line, and he might end up like missing 7 or 8 in a row, right? That's the only thing that I'm concerned with when it comes to Edgecombe. But anything else, like, I'm very, very confident in. His slashing ability, his rebounding ability, the effort on defense, like, everything is definitely going to be there, right? But the Sixers, they had their way in the second, and everybody felt like they contributed. I mean, Paul George with the dunk, which Maxey made the play, and then when Paul George made that dunk, like, everybody got hyped up on the bench, right? Everybody was hyped up, and you can see like the chemistry that this team is building and how connected they are to each other, that when somebody scores, like, the other person is not jealous, or like, everybody's happy for each other, right? But that play, Paul George also had a couple plays prior to that dunk where, he got to the free throw line a couple of times. He made some buckets over PJ Washington too. And that dunk kind of like it sealed everything for him, right? But and it started late in the first, and then it continued into the fourth. But seeing Paul George playing good is a very good sign. If you factor in everything that he went through last season with the injuries, him getting criticized by fans, by the haters, even myself included, right? I criticized Paul George a ton because I felt like he could have played better last season, right? But this year it's been something different. He's getting much healthier. He's seeing more playing time, right? And I think this season he's more involved in the offense than he was last season. Even though sometimes, it's sometimes it's only like Maxey and Embiid where Paul George is just in the corner. But I think sometimes, like, they give him the ball and let him make plays, right? They let him make plays. He works in the pick and roll with Joel Embiid. He works off those DHOs with Joel Embiid, and he also works pick and rolls with Andre Drummond, Adem Bona, and the list goes on and on. But the Sixers, in the second, they ended up taking their biggest lead at that point, which was by 9 points with Quentin Grimes making the layup. Now, speaking of Quentin Grimes, shout out to Quentin Grimes, right? His last 7, 8, or maybe 9 games have been very, 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 very shaky. Um, he's averaging like 15 points for the season, but in those last 7 or 8 games, he was only averaging like 8 points and then shooting 30% from the field. So he was clearly in a shooting slump. But last night against the hometown team, I mean, is he from Houston or Dallas? I don't know. I know he's from the Texas area, but where exactly I don't know. But against the Dallas Mavericks, his former team, he played a very, very good game, right? And especially in the fourth, he was going off in the fourth, which I'm gonna get to in a very few minutes here. But Quentin Grimes made a couple threes. He made some plays as well. He was also on the receiving end of other guys making plays, like Maxey, like Paul George, and Joel Embiid too. So I was glad that he was able to, convert, make some of the shots that he was missing in the previous games because it was very terrible, right? But seeing him have a good game against the Mavs was a good sign, right? It was definitely a good sign. And I think this month will determine whether they can be a playoff contender or not. I mean, maybe not a playoff contender, but a championship contender or not, right? Because when you have guys in and out the lineups, your best players, playing today, they miss the next 3 games or 4 games or whatever, and then they play the next game, and then But I think this month is definitely a challenging month. Um, Very, very difficult schedule up ahead. So this month will make or break the Sixers. Right. This month will make or break the Sixers. And if the Sixers are going to prove to everybody else that they can be contenders, I mean, everybody needs to step up, right? The starters have to step up. The bench players have to step up as well as the coaching staff, right? As well as the coaching staff. So, that's that. But yeah, the Sixers ended up taking their biggest lead, and then VJ Edgecombe, who was quiet in the second, you know, he had his moments, scoring 7 straight points late in the second quarter. Got to the free throw line a couple times, made a few layups, off those slashes. Like when he slashes to the basket, I'm really confident because something positive is always going to happen when he slashes to the basket, right? Something positive always happens when he slashes. So, and that's also good, because sometimes you get players who just want to step at the 3 point line and just jack up threes. But VJ Ashcombe will take the threes when they're wide open. He'll also slash when he sees an opening to the basket, right? So his offensive game is well rounded. Now I don't think he's as talented as some of his contemporaries in the draft class, but he definitely works hard and he definitely puts out effort every single night, and that's definitely a positive for the Sixers. Now, like I said, the Sixers dropped 41 in the second quarter alone, and the second quarter is where the Dallas Mavericks were struggling. Um, they really struggled in the first because the Sixers they made adjustments. They figured out how the Mavs were scoring in the first quarter, and they cleaned it up in the second. Now, I mean, they were still able to convert. I mean, Anthony Davis, being as skilled as he is, got a couple buckets for them. Other players also contributed. They had guys coming off the bench that were also contributing for them. I think Dallas had 41 points off the bench. I could be wrong, but they had a lot of production coming off the bench, and that was all Klay Thompson. That was all Najee Marshall. That was Brandon Williams. Jaden Hardy came off the bench late in that third, and he had some good moments for them as well. But they had a lot of bench production, and I felt like the starters did not match the bench production. I could be wrong, but having 41 points coming off the bench is very, very huge, right? That's very, very huge. And any team with that much production coming off the bench, those teams should be very, very good teams. So, but the Sixers ended up, going into the half with the victory. And in the third, that's where the Sixers started to struggle again. Right. just like they always had. Right now, in the third, they had 5 turnovers in the third, which was the most in any quarter that they played in. And smash that like button as y'all come in. Smash that like button. Smash that like button. Sixers Mavs post game reaction. DFJ hoops. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. But in the third, that's what we saw, Dominic Barlow, because we didn't see him at all in the second because he was in foul trouble. But in the third, he came alive with his hustle, with the defense, with his defensive presence. He had a steal on Anthony Davis and then ended up having a layup off that, right? And then another play which was a driving kick, read and react from Tyrese Maxey. He drove into the lane, the defense collapsed, and then he recognized that Dominic Barlow was wide open in the weak side corner with no contest, no defense around him. And Maxey was able to, he made that play, and then Dominic Barlow ended up making a shot. Now, sometimes, Maxey will have a couple plays, he'll have plays like that, and then he'll try to go to the floater, right? He'll try to go to the floater, but in this game, he didn't really, he did get up a bunch of shots, don't get it wrong, but he also made some good plays as well. Maxey finished with 10. He had 10 assists in this game, right? So, as much as he was taking a bunch of shots, he was also making plays. And there were other plays that he made, but the Sixers were just not able to convert on the offensive side of the floor. So he said Cooper Flag looked like a bust yesterday. Did he? I don't think so. I don't think he looked I don't think so. I mean, those two dunks that he had, I mean, that's not bust material. That is not the but I mean, they were playing some good defense on him. So, you definitely got to give the Sixers credit for that, right? For the defense that they were playing, especially from the second quarter and then from the second quarter on. Like they were playing some very, very good defense. Because in the first, he got a couple easy buckets in transition, right? Because they were 13 for 17 in the paint. But in the second quarter, they cleaned everything up. They were getting back in transition. And the half court defense also looked good. So you got to give Paul George the credit. You got to give even Quentin Grimes, because Quentin Grimes had a couple possessions where he was on Cooper Flag, and Cooper Flag, he bailed him. I felt like he bailed him out, right? Instead of like taking him to the basket, he was just shooting threes. And in the process of him shooting all those threes, guess what? He was he was missing a bunch of shots. So I don't think he looked like a bust. I just think that they play very, very good defense. Like they cleaned everything up, and yeah, they made it very, very difficult for him. Right? They made it very, very difficult for him. I mean, he finished with 12 points, 5 for 15 from the field. That's definitely terrible, but you know the Sixers were playing some good defense. So, but yeah, appreciate you, bro. He says, yeah, like Grimes locked up Cooper Flag in jail. That's sad for the Mavs. Um, but yeah, like I said, I mean, he let Quentin Grimes off the hook, right? He let him off the hook, and I felt like Quentin Grimes was also happy that he was, taking those shots, right? He was taking those shots because maybe it was a difficult night for him at the office. But I mean, he did other things, 7 assists, 7 rebounds. That's definitely good for them. It is good for them. So, but yeah, let me continue. But Barlow being quiet in the first half, he comes out and first two possessions, he makes back to back plays for the Sixers, right? Scoring 5 points. And the Sixers, they definitely struggled. I think those 5 points came in the 9 minute mark, right? So they were definitely struggling offensively. But VJ Edgecombe had to play, defensively. They turned the ball over, and he had a layup on the other end. And then the Sixers at that point were getting timely buckets, right? And most of that was from Tyrese Maxey. Maxey was, making plays. Maxey being quick, being fast, getting to the basket, shooting threes in transition. Now those threes in transition, I'm not really a huge fan of those, but in this game, he made a couple of those. So yeah, you definitely got to give him credit for that, right? Got to give him credit for the confidence to making that shot, and you got to give him credit for also making plays defensively. I think Maxey has some good defensive possessions, blocking shots from the weak side. So we definitely got to give him credit for that. But I mean, Dallas was also trying to make a comeback and make this game very, very close. And they started that in the third. I mean, the third is the quarter that the Sixers usually struggle in. So it was not even surprising. It wasn't even shocking. But the Sixers, they continue to score. Maxey continued to put points up for the board for the Sixers. Joel Embiid came in and got to the free throw line a couple times, made some good plays also from those ISO possessions. And that's where he had that play where he took Anthony Davis off the dribble. Right, which was very, 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 very happy to see that because he's starting to at least believe in himself again, believe in his body that he can, that he's capable of making those plays. Right. So that was very, very huge to see from Joel Embiid. But the Sixers ended up finishing the quarter with a 9-point lead, right? Now they only scored, I think, 24 in the third, and then Dallas, on the other hand, they scored like 26 or 27. So it was just a one possession game in the third. And if it wasn't for those turnovers, they probably would have put up more points, right? They probably would have scored more points. But turnovers it's a part of the game, so you know you just move on. But they head into the fourth, and Tyrese Maxey, starts to make things happen for the Sixers. Right, he had back-to-back layups for the first two possessions, and Dallas was trying. They were trying to make a comeback. Like I said, they started it in the third, where they had guys coming off the bench. Brandon Williams, Jaden Hardy, Najee Marshall, Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson had a couple. He had some good possessions in the first and in the second as well. But the third is where they try to make that comeback because they were trying to get that sixth victory at home. But the 76ers did not let that happen. And it became a back and forth game in the fourth, right? Where the Sixers were up by, I think, 9 points or maybe 10 after those Maxi layups. But Dallas kept scoring. Najee Marshall he kept going at the Sixers. PJ Washington kept going at the Sixers. Daniel Gafford also had some good plays in the fourth as well. Um, but it seemed like Dallas could only get it to 4 points, and they couldn't get it past 4 points because every time they got it to four, Embiid came back on the other end with the with the pull up midi. Maxi came up with the layup on the other side. Somebody made a 3 point on the other side. Quentin Grimes was making plays, right? But that's where I felt like Dallas couldn't get it past two possessions. And um, Dominic Barley ended up fouling out in this game, which he was in foul trouble for the whole game. Even in the third, when he made those two plays, he still picked up a few fouls. Right, picked up a few fouls on Anthony Davis, Cooper Flag, and some of those other players. But I mean, I feel like he was still playing hard. Pause. Right, he was still playing hard, still trying to give effort, even though he was in foul trouble. He wasn't going to let that discourage him and not play hard on both sides of the floor. But sometimes you get these, they call these ticky tack fouls on you, and there's much you can do right there, right? But it still didn't stop the Sixers from um trying to get this victory on the road, and the Sixers had back to back possessions where they were able to get stops, right? They were able to get stops, and the first one was Maxi with the block on Brandon Williams, and the second one was Adem Bona's block on Anthony Davis. And once they were able to get those two stops, they were able to push the lead to 11 points again. So Dallas had to call timeout. Um, they called time. They came back. They were still trying to make this a close game, but Maxi was not going to let that happen. Paul George was not going to let that happen. Quentin Grimes, those guys were making plays. Embiid made plays, and then and then VJ Edgecombe had that block where on Brandon Williams where it felt like he blocked it twice, and even the commentators were saying that they should count that block twice. White Square says, "How hard did he play?" Pause. Who are you talking about? If you're talking about Dominic Barlow, I felt like he was still, even though he was in foul trouble, he was still being aggressive on defense. I mean, that's just how I saw it, right? Maybe we saw it two different ways, but I felt like he was still trying to be aggressive, right? He was still trying to be aggressive, and sometimes it's not the night, and it happens, right? The first matchup, he scored like what 21 or 22, also playing some good defense on Cooper Flag and Anthony Davis, but the last night was just not his night, right? It's just not his night, and it happens. So that's how I saw it. Salute to my guy Casual in the building. What's good, bro? Salute, salute, salute. But yeah, the Mavs, they cut it to 7. Once the Sixers lead blew up to 14, but they cut it to 7. And then, Quentin Grimes, a huge three, makes it a 10-point game. And then VJ Edgecombe hit a huge three. I mean, it wasn't a huge three because the Sixers were up by double digits at that point. But that 3-pointer kind of sealed the victory for the Sixers. And anything that they were going to do was not going to matter because they were playing against 6 defenders on the court because the shot clock became a defender against them as well. They ran out of time, and that's how the Sixers were able to secure the victory. And the Sixers start off 2026 with a victory. 2025 ended with a victory, and then they start off 2026 with a victory as well. Now, in the past, the Sixers will usually like games like this, they'll definitely lose, right? They lost games like this to the Chicago Bulls, the Memphis Grizzlies a few years ago, but this season is something different as they took the game away from the Memphis Grizzlies 2 days ago, and then last night they were able to get the victory to start off the year. So it's definitely going to be a good year for the Sixers. Starting off very very well. But let me go through the box score, and yeah, I'm gonna just take a few comments, read a few comments, and then yeah, I'm gonna end this. But appreciate y'all for tuning in though. Appreciate y'all. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. So Paul George, he went five for 11 from the field and finished with 14 points. Right, 14 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists. Now those 5 turnovers, like I said, it really, some of those turnovers ended up with the Mavs scoring on the other end. White Square says beating the Mavs is cool, but I want to beat the Knicks again. Absolutely. But bro, we take it one game at a time, right? We take on the Knicks tomorrow night. I think the Sixers will be on the road again. So, but it's just one game at a time. Like victories like this or like these can definitely help the Sixers a lot, right? It's in terms of the confidence of the players. VJ is getting a ton of confidence, with the game winner against the Grizzlies, and then last night with the plays that he was making on both sides of the floor, like games like this is definitely going to help his confidence a lot, right? And then Paul George, you know, and Embiid. Now, hopefully, Embiid can play in this one against the Knicks because there's this narrative that he only plays against the terrible teams. Now, I don't know how true this narrative is, but he finished off the game very, very well, very, very strong. I didn't see anything wrong with him, right? He wasn't limping, wasn't grimacing. I didn't see any of that. So hopefully he can play against the Knicks. If we have him against the Knicks, the Sixers will have other weapons to go to, right? But against the Knicks it's definitely gonna be tough. But yeah, let me just read off the box score numbers, and then we can preview the Knicks game a little bit more. But Paul George, 5 for 11, finished with 14 points. Dominic Barlow, 1 for 3, played 18 minutes, finished with 5 points, and those 5 points came early in the third. Right, those first two or three possessions. That's where he was able to get his production, his scoring production. Joel Embiid, 9 for 18 from the field, 0 for 3 from the 3-point line. So the 3-pointers are decreasing and the paint touches are going up, right? He had a lot of touches in the post. I mean, Dallas did a good job, sending double teams, and then Embiid was able to get rid of it, right? He was able to make plays as well, and the Sixers were able to score off those double teams. So that's definitely a good thing. He says we need Kelly Oubre. Hopefully he's back tomorrow. I mean, I don't know, but even if he returns, he's definitely going to be on minutes restriction. And me personally, I don't even know what should he come off the bench? Should he start? I don't know because I think Barlow's playing very very well. So I don't know, but I mean, Paul George did get some minutes at the power forward position, in the second, and that's why we didn't really see Jabari Walker a lot in that second quarter. Right, he did play in the first, but in the second quarter, I didn't really see him that much, and in the second half, I barely saw him. So, I mean, maybe who knows? Maybe Nick Nurse makes that adjustment and plays Paul George at the 4, and then Kelly Oubre at the 3, and then brings Barlow off the bench. I mean, who knows? But I mean, that could be something that he goes to. But Joel Embiid, 22 points, 6 assists, 4 rebounds. Now, I've said this in the past. I don't really care about the scoring. I want to see more at the rebounding in the rebounding department, right? Now, we do see him, box out, a couple players, but the rebounding has to go up. And especially if he's going to play against the Knicks, we definitely need him to go for more rebounds, right? We definitely need him to go for more rebounds because the Knicks are definitely going to destroy the Sixers on the glass, right? Now, they were able to win the rebounding battle against the Mavericks, but the Knicks is a different thing because the Knicks have the bodies to they have the athletes to send on the glass, and those guys can grab a ton of rebounds. So that's something that the Sixers are gonna have to work on. VJ Edgecombe finished with eight. No, he finished with 5 rebounds. Maxey had 8 rebounds. So Maxey was 2 rebounds shy from getting a triple double. So that's a good that's some good shit from Maxey, right? Starting off the year, with a double double, 34 points and 10 assists. That's huge for the Sixers, right? Now Quentin Grimes, 19 points off the bench. Jabari Walker only played 4 minutes, and most of those were in the first because Barlow was in foul trouble. But Andre Drummond came off the bench, 2 points, 4 rebounds, barely played. Hmm. That's strange. That's strange. So Embiid played 35 minutes last night. That's good because he was playing in limited minutes, because he was on minutes restrictions. So 35 minutes, hey, that's good, right? That's good. And then last but not least, Jared McCain, 1 for 5, 2 point. Yeah, Jared McCain has been struggling a lot this season. Now, hopefully the Sixers do not package him and send him off by the trade deadline. But like it kind of seems like the Sixers might package him and ship him off, right? That's what it's kind of looking like. So, hopefully he can step it up. But this is it's not looking good. Adem Bona, 1 for 2, finished with 2 points. He has some blocks on Anthony Davis and I think Najee Marshall. Yeah, DFJ, I'm out on Jared McCain. He has no heart. Yeah, Jared. I mean, I don't know, man. Hey, could it be a situation where he peaked in his rookie season? I mean, I don't know, but these last few games it's not been good for him. Now, I'm not gonna say he has no heart. I'm not gonna go that far, but it's not looking too good for him, right? It's not looking too good for him. And I mean, he's his lack of athleticism, and sometimes he gets to the basket, with the other side, and then he relies on the underhand scoop. And sometimes he gets in the lane, he'll bump off the defender, sidestep, and then the shoot the midi. But I mean, those shots are not very very efficient shots, especially for him. I mean, last season he was making those, but this season has been very very different. The shot making has been very very different. Even wide open threes, and he's missing them. But he was so automatic in his rookie season. Like when he was getting those open threes, he wasn't hesitating on those, and he was making them at a high clip. So maybe the injuries has played a factor into it, or sometimes players that really have good rookie seasons, they go into their sophomore season and they struggle, right? They go into the sophomore season and they struggle. I think we saw that with Jaime Jaquez with the Miami Heat. He had a very very good rookie season where at some point he was in the rookie of the year race, right? With Chet Holmgren and Wemby. But his second season was very, very atrocious, and he started to, pick it up this season. So maybe that's a similar thing that Jared McCann is going through. I mean, hopefully that's the case, or maybe the injuries have something to do with it. But it's not looking good for him. It's not looking good for him at all. Yeah, he says last night I saw Embiid and Maxey set him up for a wide open three, and he bricked it. Even I can hit. He said even I can hit those. But yeah, I mean that's he's struggling, but hopefully he picks it up. But because it's not looking good at all, and I hate to see that. All right, I hate to see that. But the Dallas Mavericks, I mean Cooper Flag, 12 points, 5 for 15 from the field. PJ Washington, 3 for 6, 11 points. Anthony Davis, 13 points, 8 rebounds. It felt like Anthony Davis scored more. But hey, Max Christie, 18. Yeah, Max Christie was going off in the first half. Right. He was going off, he was making threes. He was getting to his spots. And he was making shots. He got to the free throw line a couple times too. And yeah, I was surprised with how he was scoring because I didn't know he was capable of I didn't know he was capable of that, right? Watched him with the Lakers, never saw that. I just looked at him as a defensive player, as a defensive guy. So him, getting to his spots, getting buckets. I was surprised. Um, Ryan Nemhard, 4 for 7 from the field, 9 points. Yeah, Ryan Nemhard, he had a couple good moments in the first quarter, and that was about it. Najee Marshall, 9 points. Clay Thompson, 9 points. Brandon Williams, 14. Daniel Gafford, 8. Caleb Martin only played in the second quarter, 0 points. I think he's also dealing with injuries, but who knows? And then Jaden Hardy, 1 for 4, 5 points. Yeah, he came in late in the third and then played a couple minutes in the fourth, and that was about it. Right. That was about it for him. But yeah, it's a good victory for the Sixers. Now, I mean, we know the state of the Mavericks, with the injuries, having guys in and out the lineup. Kyrie is yet to play for the Mavs this season. Even if he's gonna play, I mean, I don't know. But I think it's still a good victory for the Sixers. Moving forward. The next game is against the New York Knicks. Now the Sixers, they took on the Knicks and they beat them the first time, right? They beat them the first time. It came down to the wire, but I mean VJ Edgecombe, who was huge in the clutch, him, Maxi, and Paul George, those three were able to do just as enough to pull off the victory. And I think the second game is definitely going to be something different, right? It's going to be something different. Um, the Knicks are definitely going to step up and play well. They're going to play very, very well. And the Knicks have been playing good. I give the Knicks credit when necessary, but I got to give the Sixers also credit because the Sixers have been playing well too. So, two teams playing very, very well. I think they beat the Spurs the last time they played them. I can take a look at it right quick. Uh, and Jalen Brunson has been playing very, very well too. Right, Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, the whole team is playing good. Oh, so they lost against the Spurs. Wow, that's crazy. I thought they won. Damn, I thought they beat the Spurs. That's crazy. So yeah, this is not gonna cut it. Yeah, it's not gonna. Nah. So they missing somebody. They missing somebody. Okay, Deuce McBride played. Now Deuce McBride did not play against the Sixers the first time, but Jordan Clarkson played. Had other guys also play. Yabu also played. But I mean Jordan Clarkson 20 points off the bench. Deuce McBride 21 off the bench. Jalen Brunson with 29. Karl Anthony Towns with 20, and they still lost. Damn. They had four guys 20 plus or more, and they still lost. That's crazy. That's crazy. But I mean, Victor Wembanyama 31, 13, Julian Champagny 36. Excuse me. De'Aaron Fox 26, Keldon Johnson with 19 off the bench. Yeah. Okay, Mitchell Robinson did not play for the Knicks. So yeah, that's that's crazy, man. 40, 48. But yeah, still. I mean, the Sixers are playing very, very well. Embiid and Maxey are looking good. The two-man game has been, in the last two games, the two-man game has been very, very effective. Uh, for offensive purposes, right? Don't get it wrong. And I think Embiid has also been good offensively. Setting screens, getting offensive rebounds, drawing double teams, kicking out to open shooters, making plays. I felt like Embiid made a couple plays for Dominic Barlow, but it was just the defense. The defense was there, and the defense was able to, contest and make it very, very difficult. And that's why Dominic Barlow was not able to convert. But I mean, Embiid has been making plays, right? He has been good offensively. I don't think he's been a black hole offensively. I mean, sometimes when he tries to bring the ball up the floor, that's like, bro, give it up. Let somebody bring it up the floor, and get ready to set a screen or catch it in the post or something. But don't try to bring it up the floor because the defense is definitely going to get set by the time you get cross half court. But Embiid has been playing very, very well. Maxey has been playing very, very well too. Um, I've barely said anything about Maxey, but Maxey's been playing very, very well, right? Playing very, very well. I think he's what, top 5 in scoring still, right? Top 5 in scoring, top 10 in not top 15 in assists, and then he's also top 5 in steals. So Maxey's having a very, very great season, right? This is year 6 for him. Typically guards, I mean, this is where they start to peak. So I think he's definitely in his peak, right? He's definitely in his peak. And he's playing very, very well offensively. Defensively, the consistency is just not there. But, he has his moments defensively, right? He has his moments defensively. Whether it's playing good defense. Now against the Memphis Grizzlies, he had a couple possessions where he was guarding John Morant. Right, he was guarding John Morant, and he was doing. I felt like he did. He did a solid job. I mean, John Morant's very, very explosive, very, very athletic, very, very fast. Just as Max, I think Max is a little bit quicker than him, but John Morant is also quick. So, um, it's definitely going to be very, very difficult to check him. But I felt like he gave effort. Had some good moments. Other times he also got smoked off the dribble. It is what it is. It happens. But yeah, he's been playing very, very well offensively, and I'm happy for him. Right, I'm very, very happy for him. And people, I mean, some Sixer fans think that I'm an Embiid fan and I don't want Maxi to be successful, and that's just not true. If Maxi's successful, guess what? It helps the Sixers. Right, I'm a Sixer fan. I don't have any allegiance to no team. I mean, to no player. Any player that does good for the Sixers, I'm happy. So salute to Real Truth. Sixers need to trade Joel Embiid to the Warriors in return for Draymond Green, Jonathan Kuminga, both team wins. Um, I don't think Golden State will make that trade, but I mean the salaries have to match, and I don't think the salaries for just Draymond and Jonathan Kuminga match. Right? I don't think it matches, so I don't think that trade happens. But I mean, it's I think it helps, but I mean, Draymond is getting older, right? He's heading into year 15 or 16. I mean, Jonathan Kuminga, I mean, he's a young player. I feel like he's definitely going to be an all star in the future. But yeah, nah. I'm not gonna make that move. I ain't gonna make that trade. So yeah, I'm gonna have to disagree, bro. Grizzly fans think Ja is not a franchise player anymore. That's how can they say that? I don't know. What up, Big Toe? Happy New Year! Happy New Year! Hold on, let me drop the link. I got 5 more minutes. I'm gonna drop the link. Yeah, I got 5 more minutes. Big Toe, if you can hit the link, I got 5 more minutes. We can chop it up right quick. And yeah, so Maxi playing well. The Sixers are looking good. Embiid is looking somewhat good, I think. But I think it's definitely gonna take more consistency. What up, Big Toe? Big Toe, I think you on mute.
You can't hear me?
Oh yeah, I can. I can.
Oh, okay. I could say, was it me? You can hear me good now?
Yeah.
Okay, I said Happy New Year, man, to you and the fam and everybody, man. Good win yesterday, man. Of course, I was hoping y'all lose, but good win.
Hey, Big Toe, at least you be honest, because you wanted us to beat the Knicks, and then
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, I don't give a. I already told you. I don't give a damn what the standard is. Beat them bastards. I don't care. If y'all have to lose, if y'all play the Knicks and y'all have to lose for us to get in the playoff, I'd rather not get in the playoff. Beat them bastards. That's the hatred I have for them, bro. I'd rather not get in the playoff. Beat them. I ain't even gonna lie to you, bro. And that ain't no good. Beat them, bro. Yes, sir. What's up, Kirk? And salute to you. Salute to
Yeah. What up,
everybody
Kirk?
in the
What up,
chat.
Kirk?
But yeah, it was a good win, man. Playing good ball, man. I told you.
Hmm.
I told people it's not going to be who people think. They're trying to keep Knicks up there. They're cheating for them, trying to keep them up there. They're trying to keep our Cleveland. Bro, them teams is not going to do what these people think they're going to do, bro. They don't have what they think that they're trying to make them look like they have more than what they have.
Hmm.
Real, and that's all it is, man. Of course, they're trying to keep them. Well, Milwaukee completely fell off, so they can't even talk about them no more.
Yeah.
They done completely fell off. See, so now they're gonna stick to the Cleveland and the
The
Knicks.
Knicks. Yeah,
Because they didn't see Toronto coming. They didn't see Toronto playing the way they playing.
yeah,
See,
they're playing good.
yeah, it's just not what they think it's gonna be, man. I'm telling you, that's I told y'all from the beginning, bro. Every year they got the same old. They just got the same old team thinking these teams, bro, y'all really disrespecting all the other teams, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And they do it every year. Now they had a little thing where they think y'all was gonna be in the top five or whatever the case may be. But they didn't
Yeah,
brag with
I
it.
think
They didn't
they had us in the plan.
put it was a plan.
Yeah, like 7th or
Yes.
8th seed. Yeah.
It's but we know the same old characters, man. Milwaukee, Cleveland, Knicks. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy, man. And all three of them falling off. All three of them, man. And the refs are just trying so hard to keep the Knicks relevant, man.
Yeah.
Hold on 1 second, Dre.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, what up, Kirk? What up, Kirk? Yeah, Clippers. Hey, Kirk, Clippers are playing good. Like I say, if you get rid of that clown, your team gonna be good. You get rid of Chris Paul, you start being successful. And then they won like what 3 or 4 in a row.
No, it
Quietly,
is six. Yesterday was six.
they won 6 in a row. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yesterday
good.
was six. Yeah, now
That's
they played a Jazz team with everybody out, man. The Jazz literally playing their damn G League people. They got everybody out over there. But it ain't, like I tell people, it ain't your fault.
right.
It ain't the opponent's fault that, you ain't got nobody. Man, you beat who in
You
front
beat
of you.
who in front you. Yeah.
Yeah, you beat who in front of you, man. So, and that's something, and this is one of the reasons why I despise Knicks too. See, they don't do that. They only do it when it benefits them. When they lose and they got, oh, this person was out, this person didn't play. So what?
Yeah.
Then when they beat an injured team, oh, there ain't no excuse. No, we don't want him. Bro, y'all can't have it, bro. That's
Have it
the
both ways.
sickening
Yeah.
of them people, man. They are really, bro. Do you understand? I don't know if you were listening to my podcast the other day. The boys over there from All Ball, Knicks fan boys. This motherfucker, bro. These dudes say, this dude All Ball say, when Giannis came back, first game came back from his injury, the first game he played, I forgot who he played.
They
This
play the Bulls.
Bulls, right? That
Yeah.
was Giannis' first game back when he came back from the. This motherfucker said Giannis only came back because he auditioning for the Knicks. I'm like, bro. Now I heard some dumb shit, man. We don't heard dumb shit on these streams, man. I have never ever heard such dumb shit in my life for nobody, and that's the level of arrogance and just entitlement that these people really believe because they New York.
Right.
Bro, are you serious, Arbo? He auditioning for a team that haven't won nothing since in 55 years? A garbage bottle feeder team who barely can make. Are you serious, bro? Are you, man, when he said that though, that threw me off. I had to talk about that shit damn near 2 streams. I had to go in on that. I'm like, bro, I have never heard such arrogance, bro. Such
Man.
arrogance and delusion shit in my life. That I despise Giannis too, but a superstar like Giannis have to audition for a garbage ass bottom feeder team like Knicks, bro. Are you really serious? And let me tell you something. That was not no capping. He was not, he was
Yeah,
dead
he's serious.
serious. He was dead. Man, I'm like, okay, bro. I really now. I think I officially heard it all. But I know it's something else because it's the Knicks. So it's something else dumb they're gonna say. So
Yeah.
they're gonna top that. They're gonna top that. They're gonna top that. It's bruh. I heard that, man. I'm like, I'm through. I'm through, bro. I ain't. So why he not there? Y'all say he wanted to come to Knicks. Y'all want him, and he only wanted all that bullshit. You make me pretend they called you in the summer and all this shit. So why he not with the Knicks?
Mm.
I mean, what are they asking for? Well, they can't ask for too much. I mean, because they got the money match. You got Cat. You can
You got
switch
Cat.
Cat out now. Now y'all throwing Cat under the bus. Now he the worst thing since water now.
Yeah,
So
they
see,
calling them soft and all that.
bipolar to the 10th power, man. I told you these people are bipolar, bro. These people are bipolar, man. They man, the level of disgust these people. But when he said that, bro, I was done, man. I'm like, oh, these fools, they really believe their own bullshit. They really believe that when they take a shit, they don't stink. I'm convinced now. They really believe that. They do not smell when they take a shit. Because they New York.
Yeah. Hey, everybody want to go to the Knicks, Big Song.
Everybody want, and ain't nobody there. Everybody want to go to the Knicks, but ain't nobody there. That's some crazy shit. That's some crazy shit. They audition, man. That nigga say Giannis auditioning for the Knicks. Lord have mercy. That shit threw me for a loop, man. I had to talk for that. I had to talk about that shit 2 streams, bro. I had to talk about that 2 streams, man. I ain't even bullshitting you, bro. I had to. That was the most delusional shit I have ever heard in my goddamn life, man. Never heard nobody say that. A bottom feed ass team who ain't did shit in 55 years, but somebody got an audition for you. Wouldn't they audition for a Golden State, Miami, or Sixers, or somebody
a team that
who
has
has won
success.
more recently,
Yeah.
than 55 years? You know what I'm saying? I don't get it. I would never get it, man. These motherfuckers crazy, man. But I'm telling you, man, and it serves. You know how mothers say, how people say shit, and it just be trolling. But the sad part, he was not trolling, bro.
He's serious about it.
Yeah, he was serious. He was dead on. He was dead serious, man. And that made it even more crazier because it's like, bro, okay, you trolling right now. You just having fun. All right, that's cool. We can handle that. But he wasn't. So we don't see if they get Giannis and all that because Milwaukee done. They might well go in. So if he gonna leave or he won't leave or whatever the scenario is, man, now's the time, bro. Now's the time.
Yeah, but I think they want to get as much assets for him as possible, and I don't
Well, and
think.
that's not bad.
Mhm.
That's what you're supposed to do. It's
Yeah.
not. Look, man, and here's another thing. See, this is why I know they're just full of shit, right? So now they know they ain't getting no more than at least 5 first rounds or 6 first rounds
Mhm.
at the most, and then trade off with whatever players. So y'all tell me, Giannis want to come to Knicks, and y'all say they're asking for too much. But y'all gave up 5 first round picks for Mikal Bridges. Make nephew, nephew, make this shit make sense, bro. But you complain about Giannis? Come on, bro. Stop. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. 5 first round picks for Mikal Bridges. But if they're asking for 5 or 6 from Giannis, that's too much. You see where I'm going with this, man. You see this bullshit, man. We got to deal with these goddamn Knicks fans, bro. These motherfuckers. I'm like, okay, bro. I'm like, all right. You can't, nephew. I'm telling you, man. You can't make it up with these dudes, man.
But Big Tone, you think the Bucks gonna move Giannis this season?
That's just it. Now, me, I'm gonna stand 10 toes down. Giannis ain't going nowhere. They're just gonna try
Yeah.
hard to get somebody. I don't see him going nowhere. But at this time, sometimes when you're tired of losing, because he ain't been winning no matter who he had. See, he got to take responsibility too, bro. You blew up your team, bro. You got rid of all your players, your boys. See,
Mm-hmm.
you become the new LeBron, backstabbing shit, blowing up teams, and then when it don't work, you blaming everybody.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
see that's the bullshit. No, bro, you backstabbed them, lying, make me tell you didn't know. Drew was getting traded. Milton, you got rid of Milton. Make sure you ain't had nothing to do with Dame Dollar because the man was out on injury. Come on, bro. So you basically getting what you deserve. Now, again, it's all based on. See, it's just all based on how much he gonna push it.
Mm-hmm.
But if he don't push it, or as he make pretend now, his agents have got all control. He don't have no say on that. His agents telling him what to do. Right? Okay, bro. See, that's the bullshit. This is it's crazy. This is the most crazy shit. But if he don't, now I'm gonna play his game. If his agents don't force out, he'll be there. He'll stay there. He ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
No.
Because
But if
any team that trade from, they're gonna have to gut the team.
they're pretty much going to, because that's what Milwaukee gonna want.
Right.
They're gonna want at least 5 first rounds, and then 2 or 3 young players. Because
Mm-hmm.
still the money have to match.
At the match. Right.
Right. So you're gonna have to give up players to make sure unless you got somebody like a cat on your team who make an exact same amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
And you can just switch and then give them some. But outside of that, any other teams, they're gonna have to. Yeah, you're gonna have to. Now you back to zero. Now you back to. You might as well stay with Milwaukee.
Yeah.
You might as well stay with Milwaukee because you don't got rid of everybody.
Yeah. Stay with them, play it out, and then leave in free
Right.
agency.
Well, that right. That's true too. Leaving free agency. I think he can. I think this summer he would go free agent, or do he got 2 more years?
You got a couple years.
Yeah, see, if he got a couple more years, then and because they done this year. Ain't no, they done this year, bro. They done. So he
Oh, he got one more year.
he got one
The
more year.
next,
So
yeah.
next year,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he gonna. I don't think he, especially if he get embarrassed this year. He get embarrassed this year by not even making the playoff this year after they're coming off of 3 straight years of first round exit and then not to make the playoff. He gonna force now. Then I can see him forcing his way out. Now he not gonna be front and center in forcing his way out.
Right.
Again, he gonna play it through his
There's gonna be some cover
agent.
ups. Yeah.
Right,
You use it as a cover up.
right. See, that's the type of person he is. See, and then once he get out, I didn't know. Yeah, motherfucker, you didn't know, but you gone though, ain't you? Yeah. Your ass traded. You left though, didn't you? You ain't know it, boy. They took me with that. I ain't know shit. So yeah,
Yeah.
we'll see. But all honestly, by February, I don't think he. I think he still be there.
He still, yeah. That's how I see it too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, man. So we gonna see because these boy, they try to give the Knicks that game against San Antonio, boy. at the end of that game, bro. They tried to give it to him some more, man. That shit was crazy. Bro, that shit was crazy, man. See, this is what I'm saying, man. This is what we dealing with. You got teams out here, man, putting things together right, man, and everything, and try to honestly win. And y'all doing this foolishness, man. This gambling shit that's taking place, and or you trying to get the team that Vegas and the NBA want
to be in the finals. Or
right in the finals or whatever, man. This is it's crazy, nephew. It's
yeah.
crazy, bro. But you gotta win in spite of. So
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, this is what you got.
Uh-huh.
Ain't nothing you can do about it. Vegas and the gambling mob is already in it. So ain't nothing you can do, man. So
Right.
you gotta, teams who know what's going on. You just gotta try to win in spite of,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can't make this shit up, bro.
Hey, but Big Time, I'm getting ready to close this.
Okay, yeah, go ahead, nephew, because I'm ready to do mine, man. But
Yeah,
yeah,
because I just want to hear your take on the Heat and the Timberwolves last take in that.
yeah, because that's what we play next.
Yeah.
I mean, we our chemistry is getting there,
Uh-huh.
and like I said, that's all we need to keep our chemistry going. Because we had so many different lineups, but now we're getting it going, we're getting a consistent lineup these last few games.
Uh-huh.
And I told y'all, see, Miami system runs off its defense. And if the defense is combobulated and ain't clicking, that caused everything else to fall. See?
Uh-huh.
And now these last few games, man, our defense has been clicking and what's up, Bruce? Salute, salute. Speaking of Max is like a big McDonald. Yeah, but our defense is getting back in rhythm, man. So I think we can take, because I think now another one too before you go. I think it's ready to tap out. And that's Ant-Man. I think
Uh-huh.
Ant-Man ready to tap out. I think Ant-Man is oh shit. I think Ant-Man ready to tap out, bro. It was 8 minutes left, 7 minutes, almost 8 minutes left.
And he left.
And he left the fucking game, bro. He left. Man, that's never a good sign, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I know they was down a couple, but still, 7 minutes. I can see 2 minutes. Well, you really never supposed to leave no game just because,
Your team's down.
yeah, yeah, But I think he ready to tap out. I think Ant ready to tap out, bro. I really do.
Yeah.
So we gonna see. You know, now that's but the only one I really would go after. I told you I don't want no young, so I don't care what motherfucking young. Fuck young. I don't want no youngs, bro. I don't want that, man. I don't want that backstab, bro, man. Character mean everything to me, bro. It's about character, man. Them guys don't have no care. Like I said, he the new LeBron, bro. And I don't want that dude now. And let's see, because they're gonna want some, they're gonna want some shit too for Ant too.
Yeah. He
So
on
it
that
ain't
big
like
contract.
it ain't like it's gonna be easy to get him either.
Right.
You know, yeah, they definitely gonna want some stuff for Ant too. But if we can work around, because that's why I said, motherfucker wanna. Well, switch Bam up. First of all, they're not coming if Bam ain't here. So you're talking stupid. Because they want to play for Bam and Spo.
Uh-huh.
So you talking about and Miami just shut all that shit down just earlier today. Bro, don't try to call me for no Bam. Just stop it. For you gonna get a busy signal every goddamn time you try to make that call, bro. You not stop it. We not ain't nobody trading no goddamn Bam. And I can see them trading Tyler. I really can. I hope they don't. I really don't. I'm Tyler Hero. And mainly the Tyler Hero because the Tyler Hero haters. I want to piss them off so bad. I don't give a damn. Keep Tyler on the team. Just for them goddamn bipolar Tyler Hero haters. Miami Heat Tyler Hero haters. Piss them bastards right off. Keep Tyler. And Tyler, stay out. Stay hurt, goddamn it. Boy, I'm so sick, man. I'm so sick of them. I'm ready to talk about that on my stream, man. I'm ready to go do my stream, man. Because I can take this shit all the boy with this. Boy, I swear to God, I can't stand these bastards. You talking about hate Nick. You talking about hate Nick fans. Boy, I hate my bipolar mother Miami Heat fans. Probably all just short of worse, bro. Just short of worse, man. I swear to God, I can't stand these bastards, man. But go ahead, nephew. I'll you, man.
All right, big son.
All right. I'll talk to you later, man.
All right. Peace. All right. Oh man. All right, y'all, man. Yeah, Sixers, Mavs, post game. Had Big Tone on the show. Talk some hoops. But yeah, appreciate y'all for tuning in. Salute to my guy. Salute to Kirk. Salute to Bruce in the building. What's good? Rap Guy Reloaded. What's good? What's good? Appreciate y'all for tuning in. I'm gonna catch you guys on the next one. Peace.